But Zanarkand ruins. Let's see what we got here.
Journeyer of the long road, name yourself.
I am the summoner Yuna. I have come from the island of Besaid.
Your eyes, my dear, show me the long road you have traveled. Very good. You have journeyed well. Lady Yunalesca will surely welcome your arrival. Go to her now and bring your guardians with you. Go.
Yes.
Man, the dome.
If it might benefit the future of Spira, I will gladly give my life. It is the highest honor for which a guardian might ask. Use my life, Lady Yoken, and rid Spira of sin.
What was that?
Our predecessors.
She said Lady Yoken, didn't she? Wait, she guarded High Summoner Yoken?
This dome is filled with fireflies. It's like one gigantic sphere. People's thoughts remain here, forever.
It's that type of place. That's why I never really use. Alright, that's what I'm talking about. done and done. Doesn't net the amount that I need, to be honest with you.
You shall fear magic.
Didn't think about it like that.
Well then, what next? Let's see you under pressure.
Enough. That's how it's done.
No! Mother, no! I don't want you to become a Fade! There is no other way. Use me and defeat sin. Only then will the people accept you. I don't care about them! I need you, Mother! No one else! I don't have much time left.
Hey, wasn't that...
Seymour?
Seymour was supposed to defeat Sin. That's the crazy part.
As you wish.
Bro, come the fuck on, Bran. He is dark. How the fuck are you, like, hitting for... Shit don't make any fucking sense. He was hitting for, like, double umpteen fucking... Thank you. What I tell you, man? Fucking bullshit. Would be nice to get actual, like... Friends here. Definitely expedites the process. At 4 level 4 stoops. Now, I could go for that. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanna go for Ultima. I really do. I may just do that. Like, I really do wanna, like, get Ultima and then... Ah, cause I. God damn it. All right. Well, I get it back when I face it. Yeah. Okay. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm all like freaking out thinking that I was. I tell you, that bullshit. Fucking bull fucking shit.
You shall be restored.
Ridiculous, man. Suck my dick from the back. Oh, fucking stupid.
Cure us. Let's end this.
I foresee no difficulty.
Fucking little stupid. So I'm kind of like, I don't.
Hey, Braska. You don't have to do this. Thank you for your concern. Fine, I said my piece.
Well, I haven't. Lord Braska, let us go back. I don't want to see you die.
You knew this was to happen, my friend.
Yes, but I cannot accept it.
Oren, I am honored that you care for me so. But I have come to kill grief itself. I will defeat sin and lift the veil of sorrow covering Spira. Please understand, Oren.
To think that that was the turning point of. All right, thank you.
Are the trials ahead?
Probably.
Here too, huh? Give me a break. I was expecting, you know, parades and fireworks.
You can ask for them after I defeat Sin.
Before we do close to the trials, I want to in a way, go back and level up some more so I can at least get flair. But I would honestly feel more comfortable getting flair. Like this gets you the most payout. Cause it's like 12,000 consistent AP. You get more out of it, right?
No time to waste. Let's go.
Yeah. Most payout. Yes, that's the one. That's the one. The fact that it actually does that fucking damage is fucking ridiculous. I don't know whether that's just the game is adjusting to me being stupid OP or whatever, but Lulu just has shitty fucking health.
This ends now.
Farewell.
Luckily for me, I didn't get the thrust kick maneuver. Again, AP payout needs to be bigger. Jesus. I tell you. Fucking killing.
It's essentially impossible for it not to be. Right? Like, it was essentially impossible to avoid the cultural osmosis on Baby Yoda. Like, they haven't even given out his name yet, and I'm just like, yeah, no, that's him. Yeah, it was a sled. It was a sled. And what's funny is, I believe, there's only two things. There's specifically two things that I was spoiled about The Mandalorian. And that was one of them, Baby Yoda. I literally, my brother-in-law, it's actually over there, it's packed right now, but my brother-in-law actually got me a mug with Baby Yoda on it. Like, well, it's not, everyone called it Baby Yoda. His name's Grogu, I want to say, something like that. Something along those lines. Anyways. Oh yeah, there was so much merch for this. In fact, what's funny is if you follow the behind the scenes at all, you know that while they were a little bit prepared for the merch cycle, they weren't fully prepared for it. So they actually held it back a few extra months so they could get just a whole bunch of other people on board with making more Baby Yoda merch. And sold so much that they actually started having production line issues because of how much in demand it was. Anyways, Mandalorian. So,
you guys talking about Mandalorian.
yeah, interesting problem to have.
Does ruminations talking about
So, we start off. There's a couple of thugs who are trying to kill someone and steal their musk glands in order to be horrible. That's cool. There's also a nice little tidbit where the guy actually says, "You spilled my drink" to the Mandalorian, which is not true. And you just get the vibe, because the whole thing, we're staring at this and it's like, yeah, okay. I've seen Westerns before. I've actually seen quite a few Westerns before. In fact, not a lot of people know this. How many of you have ever seen the Dollar Trilogy, or any part of the Dollar Trilogy? I swear I'm going somewhere with this. Excuse me, it's apparently called the Dollars Trilogy. My bad. So, for those of you not aware, it's Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. The reason I bring all this up, and I talked about this briefly during my issues with the mic, during the ruminations I covered on these movies several years ago at this point, not a lot of people know that Westerns were already kind of like on their way out when those three movies were made. In fact, they were so far on their way out that a lot of people were cautioning that they shouldn't make any more Westerns because it was such a done genre and nobody cared anymore. Nobody wanted any more of it. And then the Dollars Trilogy came out by an Italian guy giving term to the very concept of spaghetti Western, or at the very least popularizing it. And all of a sudden it revitalized the whole genre of Westerns. Go figure. But the reason I bring all this up is that all the way back, and in A Fistful of Dollars, which is 1964, by the way, Western movies were already so cliched and so well known that the scene we watch here was straight out of that. That's not a complaint. As usual, we've covered two shows recently, Arcane and Andor, which are very, very, very cliched, very typical, very follows the tropes, and just very, very, very well done. That's not the issue. It's just, this whole first scene is lifted directly out of your classic Western. We start off establishing the punk and the mark. Okay. Then the hero shows up, the protag. He's, of course, above it all, aloof, hardly says any lines of dialogue, and effortlessly runs over them and completely defeats them. And then walks over, and then you see the big twist. He's not here to save the mark. He's here to bring the mark in. Copy-paste. Textbook. I do find myself wondering, do the doors not have safety mechanisms? Like, that door just slices the dude right in half. Yeah, that's... It's broken. You know what? Okay, fair enough. And yeah, then we get the line. I could bring you in warm or I could bring you in cold. What is safety in Star Wars? That's a good point. They don't even know what handrails are on this show. Bit of a nice tone setter, and I love how little he talks. I love how Western it is, despite being on an ice planet. We get a little bit of world building very quickly. Everyone drops their gray holds out here, which, yeah. We also have a very common trick where the Mark talks a lot in order to compensate for the fact that the Protag barely talks at all. I also love how we've got this giant, like, death hippo thing, which of course kills the taxi driver, so that's a bunch of money just completely wasted there. Of course the guy's going to try to escape. Of course he's then immediately overrun by Mando, and of course now he's being brought in cold. His call, you know. Of course the Mandalorian has a carbonite thing in his freaking ship. I can't complain. It's better than having the gauntlets, am I right? 3 people are going to get that reference. So then we get to Mos Eisley, but less lively, and we see Carl Weathers, which I admit I was happy to see. Mando refuses Imperial credits. At first glance, I was like, okay. Because there could be a lot of reasons to refuse Imperial credits under these circumstances. But based even just on this first episode, that's probably more of a nah, I'm good kind of a thing, right? Instead we get calamari flan, which squelches. We also get some other wonderful little bits of world building. They want to pay guild rates. They don't mind if it gets sloppy. How many people do you know who are more than willing to pay less for worse quality because they don't care? And yeah, the fact that we lost Carl Weathers really sucks, but nothing else I could add to that. Yeah, sure, the Imperial credits spend. Where? Dude needs to get fuel, after all. Yeah, the carbonite thing really took off after Empire, honestly. Like I said, Gauntlet. So Mandalorian, we also find out, just based on some basic dialogue, that he's clearly starting to have some problems keeping the ship fueled. Like, literally, just keeping the ship fueled. Because, yeah. Yeah, the market is slowing, which... interesting. I mean, even Weathers, when he says something. Bail jumper, bail jumper, bail jumper, bail jumper. And it's like, yeah. That's, I mean... bounty hunters actually, yeah, that going after bail hoppers makes sense. But that's below the Mandalorian's pay grade, very clearly and obviously. It also makes absolutely no sense considering this is 5 years after Return, when the New Republic is, you know, dissecting itself right now, trying to exist. And yeah, bail jumpers don't pay well for obvious reasons. That's how that is. So, why is there no actual jobs going on? Well, there is one job. Okay, fine. And we start to see how he's having issues, again, keeping his ship fueled. We start to see how there would be some motive here for him taking an extremely sus job and for banning that bot. Thank you, Rax. And it's at about this point, we're a good 10-15 minutes in, and this is the exact moment I realized I wasn't really enjoying the episode. I'll come back to that. Because it was something I chewed on for almost the entire episode. Bring the bot in, always cold. So they have this moment where they reveal the stormtroopers, which feels like it should be a moment. It feels like it should have been a kind of a thing, but it isn't. It's just there. And I structurally I could point to why. It's because they have the little tidbit about the Imperial credits, but Imperial credits don't sell. Okay, for real, let's cut the theatrics. All I have is Imperial credits and, like, a little bit of other currency. So all he's dealing is an Imperial currency, and then we get the reveal that they're stormtroopers, and that happens just a minute or two later, and it's like, okay. The pacing is off, and the setup and payoff pattern isn't quite at the level it needs to be. I'll talk more about that in a minute. Stormtroopers, very run down, very dusty. obviously people who have not actually been taking care of themselves properly because they can't. We see the guy from the trailer. 4-1 stormtroopers. Yeah, that's no. I bet on the Mandalorian on that one either. If I could relate this to another show, because I've been covering some extremely good shows lately, which absolutely is tainting my opinion here. But if I could paint this to something else, have you ever seen Justified? I'll give you a hint. Justified is a Western masquerading as a police procedural set in modern day, which at the time was, I believe, 2013. So, one of the things Justified was extremely good about is the tension. That show manages to make fairly mundane and simple sequences have a tremendous amount of tension, and it brings energy to a lot of wonderful scenes. Now, obviously, it's a very, very, very high-craft show, but I bring that up because I realized I was missing that, because Arcane and Andor both have that same thing. They know how to pull tension into a scene. They know how to make things be like a wire that's just pulled a little bit too taut, like the Gerudo Desert song, apparently. This is just not like the standoff with the stormtroopers is nothing. Now, you could say maybe it's not supposed to be anything, but, well, there's nothing here. Moving on. I'll come back to this. So we see the dude who literally has the Imperial symbol as a necklace. And there's good design. There's good set design. There's good world building. They use the setting very, very well. I like the implication. Even the children in the Mandalorian Enclave they have here all have masks on. We also kind of see why the Mandalorian himself, Mando, I'm just going to call him from now on, is here. Why he's operating here, because his people are here. There's also a really great line where he shows the tab of Beskar to the armorsmith, and she actually comments that this was taken in the Great Purge. Now, we don't need more than that right there. That's it, just chunk. Okay, and of course the Imperial stamp, nice and obvious on it, which then melts away as she's doing it. He also offers the Mon Calamari Flan, which... Why do they have squelchy stuff as currency? Sorry. We also see... I get it. They live underwater. Let's just move on. We also see how much this would work really well as a video game. No, think about it. As the next several scenes pass by, and I didn't have much to talk about, or I had very few notes to take, I started thinking about the structure of it. Like, you go, you do a job, you get a bit of Beskar, as that's your pay. Where you allocate that, either to your armor, or to your armament, or to your ship, that's up to you. But you get very limited amount of that resource per mission, right? And so you have to decide, okay, where am I going? Where do I want this? How do I want this, right? And it struck me how video gamey this is, but I in no way mean that as an insult or a bad thing. But yeah, exactly. Like, imagine this was Star Wars Bounty Hunter, but just, skipped forward. Instead of playing Jango, we're playing Mando here. I'm with it. I'm actually with it. I feel like that would be a really good format. It's one of the reasons why I'm still interested in Outlaw, despite the fact that every person who's played a review copy has said it's garbage. Outlaw's going to be so bad, isn't it? Anyways. Like, the concept interests me. So, we have this scene where we have a flashback, and it's not good. I'm sorry. This is probably the first scene I can point to that's actively just not there. There's no power in the scene. There's a bunch of explosions and a bunch of flash cuts, and there's a bunch of shots of kids, which you get it, but they show too much without showing enough. If you're going to do a scene like this, you need to go in one of two directions. You need to go full hog and show the horror, or pull back and not show nearly as much so that the horror is implied. They do neither. What we see is generic explosions going off and completely fine actors just looking and like, oh my god, and reacting to random shots in the background. It's not good. It just doesn't impact in the way it should. Quite the contrary. The tidbit where the armorsmith makes an offhanded comment about how this will sponsor plenty of foundlings. That does more than this flashback does. And yeah, I was a foundling, I know. That's quite literally, as you know, which is being presented to the audience. So I get the impression, I get the implication, but a little bit of an editing pass would have made this work better than it already does. I also like to complain about something else. I didn't come here to bash Mandalorian, by the way, I swear. It's just me being honest. If you didn't want me being honest, you shouldn't have paid me to watch this show. They use hand cam for most of the shots. Now, I don't know if that's something that volume requires. In fact, it would make sense if it doesn't. But or if it's an artistic choice, or maybe it's not even hand cam. Maybe it's just an effect they're putting on after the fact. But I hate it. For those of you not aware, hand cam is sort of exactly what it sounds like. It's when you've got the camera, and there's a person just holding the camera like this. And what that means is that it's not full shaky cam. Well, I mean, it is shaky cam. It's a less severe version of shaky cam. Because shaky cam is this, right? Oh my god, oh my god. But hand cam, it's still wobbling. There's a little bit of a wobble. It's something I've seen some people do on purpose as an artistic choice to try and make it look like you are actually looking through it. Yeah, Obi-Wan. Yeah, that's a good example of shaky cam. But yeah, no, it's not. It's either something they did after the fact in order to make it look that way, or it's just someone who's got a camera in his hands, hence the term, right? And it's just this kind of vague, wobbly thing. I hate it when video games do this, especially, because video games like to do this. And it drives me bonkers, because all it does is constantly pull me out of the scene. And if I might be so bold, it also makes me just a little bit nauseous as I'm watching. Like, yeah, okay. Why are you doing this way? And you're probably thinking, well, they have to have a camera on a person. Would you believe we actually have the technology, and have had the technology for decades, to have someone holding a camera and yet have it still be static? It's actually a fascinating device. There's several different ways to do it, but the one I'm picturing in my head right now is you're actually holding on to this framework, which itself is holding the camera, and the framework is kind of a what do you call it, like a balancing system, a gyro system, and so the actual camera stays static, right? And it's just level, and so even as you're adjusting a little bit, because you're a human being, you can't be fully static. The shot is static, and there's, like I said, there's actually several ways to do exactly this. Like, this is not new technology. We've been able to do this since the prequel trilogy era, for God's sakes. So when you just do a hand cam, usually there's either some financial reasons for doing it or creative reasons for doing it. I'm not sure which. I'm just speculating here. Whoop. I probably sound like I hate this episode. To be clear, I don't. It's just, I cannot help but notice all of these little, decisions as we're going through it. And I'll talk more about that as we keep going. So like any Western, first thing we've got to do is we've got to show the hero is very competent. That was the first scene. Then we need to show that the hero is also, despite their competence, down on their luck. Again, this is straight out of the Dollars trilogy. It's this incredible gunman who's fantastic and amazing, and also dirt poor and can barely keep himself fed. Okay, sure. That tracks, right? That tracks. He's having trouble keeping his ship fueled. I'm with it. Then we have to transition to a section where he needs help. This is when he lands on the planet and ends up fighting the creatures and meets I Have Spoken Man. And then we have to switch into a breather section, which in this case is done as a comedic section. Okay. No problems, no complaints here. That's a lie. I've got one complaint. I'm sorry. Because the pacing here is so strange. The way I wrote it down in my notes is, it's too fast for how little is happening, but then too slow for how much is going on. Like, the show can't wait to get to the next moment, but when it gets to each moment, it doesn't know where they're doing with it. Let me use a direct example, because I don't like to speak in generics. There's this tidbit where he's like, okay, you've got to learn how to ride this stupid thing. He's like, I'll just take a speeder. No, this is the only way. Why? Not explained. So he's like, okay, fine, I'll learn how to do it. And we have him bumbling. The music even gets comedic for a moment. Okay, I'm with that. But then he's like, no, you've got to learn this. Aren't you a Mandalorian? Didn't you do this amazing stuff? He's like, yes. So he goes forward, and he immediately, perfectly, mounts the sucker, and then goes on, and they have the transition scene where they have a travel sequence of them getting the next spot. Huh? And do you notice how off that sequence is? It's just kind of... There's also... I hate to continue to complain, but yeah, there's nothing that indicates you couldn't use a speeder here. Also, there's a very clear and obvious path that they could have taken. He came over here, up through the cliffside, but there's actually a frickin' road down there. It's where IG comes from, for example. So then we find a little bit of his motive. Now, this is an interesting tidbit. We start to see a little bit why Carl Weathers' character was so hesitant. There's been a constant stream of bounty hunters trying to take these people out. Based on what we see and what's coming after this, I actually have this weird theory, which is probably going to be proven wrong, that these Nyktos didn't even know what they had in Baby Yoda. Because if you notice, they've got a whole stronghold here. This looks like a pirate camp, for lack of a better way to put it, right? Like, this looks like them setting up a new outpost. And they've got tons of loot there that isn't Baby Yoda. And they've got a freaking heavy repeater on a hover skiff nearby. This is them holing up. So it makes sense that this is why the guy's helping him take it out. He probably doesn't... Like, this whole time I'm wondering, why is this guy helping him go after Baby? Because we all know it's Baby Yoda. And it's like... Okay, it's because he wants the pirate gang gone. That makes sense. Yeah, no, it's the video game parallels continue. This is your first dungeon. There's a pirate camp right there. They've got this whole thing set up, and this guy's helping you out because he wants them gone. Okay. They've also got a lot of guys there, too, while we're on the subject. And there are multiple bounties out for these people, and multiple people coming to get them, which is why he's helped a constant stream, his words, not mine, of people to try and assist with this situation. Okay, I'm actually with pretty much all of that. And then the IG unit shows up. And at this exact moment in time, I finally started liking the episode. I'm not actually joking. First of all, I have to give special praise to them actually showing what an IG unit can do in combat. Because there's a reason these things used to have a rep, right? The assassin droids. Like, I love the rotating... I don't know what to call it. Like, the nature of how so many different parts of its body can rotate independent of each other to just give it tremendous maneuverability. And that. But like, in addition to just kind of being cool and actually being a very good action sequence, there's also the fact that, weirdly, the dialogue is suddenly very good. And it probably helps that this is actually a fairly large amount of dialogue. In fact, this is the largest chunk of lines that Mando has said the whole episode as he's talking to the IG. I didn't catch the number. I don't even know if they said the number, so I'm just going to keep calling it the IG. And it's like, okay. And they have weirdly good banter with each other. Like, there's a pretty good, not quite buddy cop, IG-11 apparently. There's a not quite buddy cop dialogue back and forth going between them that really helps sell the sequence. Do not self-destruct. Do not self-destruct. Stop it. Stop it. Well, you know, honestly, I don't know, Rax, because, yeah, it's wild, because, the dialogue just suddenly starts popping. I don't know what else to add to this. It's just weird. It's even properly, like I said, it's a properly good shootout. We have two extremely high-tier people, relatively speaking. And yet they're kind of struggling against these guys because the pirates just have that much more in terms of numbers. They even still take a hit on their way out. I don't know, just food for thought. Either way, they successfully managed to distract the heavy repeater, take out the heavy repeater, and then use it to absolutely gun down most of the rest of the guys. Okay. Now we just need to get the door open. And they just both of them just turn to look at the heavy repeater for a second and just walk in. Like, I love it, right? It's so... It's silly, because the reason I love it is because it's cheesy, but it's some good cheese, right? But, yeah, so this is when the big reveal happens. I wanted to talk about this briefly as well. there's a section where... Okay, so when this episode first came out, they actually didn't allow advanced screenings of the episode. Now, that's extremely unusual, especially for a show that's kind of launching Disney Plus. This was back in 2019 at this point, and one of the earlier of the Star Wars showverse, or whatever you want to call that, the transition into television that they did, and are arguably still doing, since we just had Acolyte just came out. So you could kind of feel that they really wanted this to go very, very well. And yeah, the trailers were very specifically edited. The promos were very specifically edited. They actually did something that I'm shocked by, because I've complained for years that people do the exact opposite. Like, most people couldn't wait to be like, and it's Baby Yoda. Like, I guarantee you that what some executive or some executives somewhere wanted was a trailer where it's like, and there's Baby Yoda, right? Just right there. But yeah, so they didn't have advanced screenings, and a lot of people said that was a bad sign. In fact, if you remember, I did too, because I heard about that back in 2019. Generally speaking, if we're not giving you a promo code for our game or our show or a movie, that means we don't really have any faith in it. We don't want you to tell everyone how bad it is, so we want to get as many of those day one sales as possible. Like, that's a fairly standard pattern when it comes to this kind of a thing. In this case, it was actually the exact opposite. They had tremendous faith in the property, and they just really wanted to keep this particular thing on a lid. And the fact that it only shows up in the last, 2 minutes of the episode, okay, I'm with that. And of course, the Mandalorian himself wouldn't actually condone the killing of a child, foundlings, from earlier. And I love the one shot right to the IG's head. Why did the IG have a contract for termination, I wonder? He said he's with the guild. Food for thought. But yeah, this was just fascinating, and again, kind of kicked off things. And I guess now we have to review this episode, because this is a weird episode to talk about. And this is the other thing I've been building up towards this whole time, because I realized that I did overall enjoy the episode. Of course I did. It's a good episode. It just says a lot about exactly why the nature of my system tends to work the way it does. That's a little bit loud. This is something that I actually have been saying constantly throughout the course of the last week or two, as people have been upset that episodes have not been getting purple. Is that, hang on, you have to understand how high up a red is, right? So, being completely honest, yeah, I noticed that, God, what's his name? Oh, what's his name? Hang on. Give me a minute. Ah! Or just throw money at my face. I guess that's also something you can do. Werner Herzog. That's him. Werner Herzog. He specifically mentions that he's willing to accept dead if that is exactly how it comes into being. And it's the doctor who protests, and Werner's character just shuts him down like, kunk, nope. I said this, I have spoken. I was actually thinking green until the episode started to pull me a little bit. The music disagrees with me. But I think the final sequence with the IG, which was good dynamic, good acting, good banter, and good visuals and a good thing, pushes it up to yellow. Which, as a reminder, is good. That's what yellow means. That is the direction that is. And I was thinking about this the whole time, because I realized that everyone in chat was going to tear my head off for that. Yellow is generally average, but when I say average, what I mean is averagely good. In golden number terms, that's like about 60 to 80-ish, right? Severance. No, I don't think so. It is very Star Wars. I noticed, like, I noticed just how Star Wars this was, and it makes sense. I'm not trying to deride them. They really were launching a new thing, and very similar to Force Awakens, this episode played things very safe. And that's fine. It is still good. A reminder, yellow is still a good score. But it does see, it very, very much is trying to just kind of be, it's okay. It's okay. No. We'll see where it goes from here. If I was watching this show regardless of my show, I would be interested enough to see what happens next, and that's exactly what a first episode should do. Thank you, Vigilant, very, very much for your support. Let's see. I mean, that's probably going to happen, Vigilant. Also, if you know what to put, Lower Trust, you got it. You got it. Thank you, Vigilant. And I got a sub there from Dark Prince. Thank you, Dark Prince Revan, very, very much. Are you sure you want me to review a Souls Light?
No, it's weird
because nobody likes it when
it's weird in the sense that Walker should be hitting way harder than that, and yet it's flip-floppy on how much he hits. It's stupid. Kind of annoyed by it, to be honest with you. Like, I at least want to get Lulu started on two more fights with those 3 robots and then she'll be straight. Don't care. This stupid thing hits for like 5,000 damn damage for no fucking reason when it used to not do that. At most 1,000 damage. At most 1,000 damage. It's making me annoyed by it. It's like, bro, just fucking. Alright. Come on. Give me something here. Give me 3 robots. Thank you.
Allow me.
This is the thing that pisses me off. It's like 3,700 damage. This shit automatically kills. You would think in theory it would. But it don't. Because this game makes no fucking sense on that end. But whatever. Overkill. Where do I go? Where do I go? I could move back there and just go. Yeah. Wait. I'm low. Yeah. 4 level 3s. Now here's the debacle that I got. Nab Gill. That's the one that I'm curious on. Hold on. So, definitely doing that. Copycat. See, that's the one that I want to get, but like I said, I need some more level 4 things to justify that. Otherwise, I'll learn it. Can actually go over to Lulu's thing and do work, son. Alright, now we can continue. Alright, so I can always come back here and do that. Oh, give me 1 second. We got it. Let's see. God, this is such a fucking mess. That works. That works. show? Or Didn't get it. Did we?
Yuna,
The Hall of the Final.
go.
Yes.
I get one.
Huh? What do you mean, no final Aeon?
Actually, guys,
Sir
give me-
Oren! Everyone!
All right. Give me 1 second. Alright, much apologies, people. Had to, I'm like cooking and playing at the same time, so yeah. I'm like,
This isn't a faith. It's just an empty statue.
so bear
That
with me.
statue
Sorry about that.
lost its power as a faith
So I'll
long
probably be
ago.
off, and then
It is
I
Lord
put some in the
Zayon,
oven and then
the
time it and then
first
come back.
faith of the final summoning. What you see before you is all that remains of him. Lord Zayon is... his soul is gone.
Gone?
You mean there is no final Aeon?
But fear not. Lady Yunalesca will show you the path. The final Aeon will be yours.
The plot twist.
The Summoner and the final Aeon will join powers.
Yeah, the monster designs for this
Go
game were
to
actually
her
pretty
now.
dope.
Inside.
Like I said, it's
the
kind of
lady
interesting in 10 2. You
awaits.
get the other ones that say if you didn't play through
Yuna, wait!
the monster arena
Alright.
like that, some of those, a
You knew
lot
this
of
was
those
gonna
monster
happen,
designs
didn't you?
pop up in 10 2 as like
Yes.
just regular monsters.
Why didn't you tell
Even
us?
though I know in via Infinito,
If I had told you the truth, would that really have stopped you from coming?
Yuna.
but I need to go
I'm
back
not going
to
back.
the dome to
Kimari
re
goes.
up on
Kimari goes
Bahamut's
first.
uh,
Yuna is safe. Kimari protect.
overdrive, and yeah, I need to re up on Bahamut's overdrive and Titus's thing. So let me do that real quick, cause I have an idea, so to speak. Yeah, Silence Ward. Echo. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely need to get. All right, Echo Charge. So customize. Where is it at? Cause I know. Where is it at? Come on. Oh, I hate this shit. Thank you. Alright. And then dark. Nope. I need dark proof. Echo Arm Guard. Alright. Give me 1 second, put it in the oven real quick. Done. And Titus is the only one that has overclock. And where is he? Convenience. Or convenience. Alright. Should be able to. Not what I want. Where to you? Always gotta get a one fuck you damn hit before I can end every damn thing. Every time. Hey, yeah. Let's get that over with. Let's get that over with. Totally. Got him. Just trying to get it up. Defender Z. I don't care about Defender Z. Can you give me something with the I need the wrong ones, but thank you. Jeez. Gladly go. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. Yes, you can get it. Really? Got what I needed. That is it. Of course. Of course.
This ends now.
Alright. And How is this dude hitting for shitty fucking health? It's like the dumbest damn thing. Motherfucker hitting for damn dumb health. Shit. Booyah! Weak ass damn hits. Alright. Got what we needed. Hold on. Always a good thing. Definitely be the difference right there. Alright. Should be shit on it. Oh, keep forgetting.
Someone's coming!
Lady Unaleska.
Welcome to Zanarkand.
Yeah, about to save.
I congratulate you, Summoner. You have completed your pilgrimage. I will now bestow you with that which you seek. The final summoning
Alright.
will be yours.
Probably got to stop here, guys.
Now,
Pick up in the morning.
choose.
It's all good.
You must choose the one whom I will change to become the faith of the final summoning. There must be a bond between chosen and summoner, for that is what the final summoning embodies. The bond between husband and wife, mother and child, or between friends. If that bond is strong enough, its light will conquer sin. 1,000 years ago, I chose my husband Zeon as my faith. Our bond was true, and I obtained the final Aeon.
Come on.
There is nothing to fear. You will soon be freed of worry and pain. For once you call forth the final Aeon, your life will end.
Alright.
Death is the ultimate and final liberation. Your father, Braska, chose this path.
It is not too late. Let us turn back.
If I turn back, who will defeat Sin? Would you have some other summoner and his guardians go through this?
But, my lord, there must be another way.
This is the only way we got now. Fine. Make me the Faith. I've been doing some thinking. My dream is back in the other Zanarkand. I wanted to make that runt into a star blitz player. Show him the view from the top, you know. But now I know there's no way home for me. I'm never gonna see him again. My dream's never gonna come true. So make me the Faith. I'll fight Sin with you, Braska. Then maybe my life will have meaning, you know? Don't do this, Jecht. If you live, there may be another way. We'll think of something, I know. Believe me, I thought this through. Besides, I ain't getting any younger, so I might as well make myself useful.
Jecht?
What? You're not gonna try to stop me too?
Sorry. I mean, thank you.
Braska still has to fight Sin, Orin. Guard him well. Make sure he gets there. Well, let's go.
Wow.
Lord Braska, Jecht.
What do you want now?
Sin always comes back. It comes back after the calm, every time. The cycle will continue and your deaths will mean nothing.
But there's always a chance it won't come back this time.
Oh,
It's worth trying.
So.
I understand what you're saying, Orin. I'll find a way to break the cycle.
You have a plan?
Jecht?
Trust me, I'll think of something.
And the cycle went on.
Yep.
We'll break it.
But how? What, you got a plan now?
If one of us has to become a Faith, I volunteer.
Me too, Yuna.
That still won't change anything, you know? You'd bring the calm, and then what? That won't break the cycle!
Listen. You want to defeat Sin and keep Yuna alive. You don't want Sin to come back, yeah? That is just not gonna happen, brother, you know?
If you want everything, you'll end up with nothing.
But I want everything!
Now you're being childish.
I give up. So what would an adult do then? They know they can just throw away a summoner, then they can do whatever they like. You're right. I might not even have a chance. But no way am I gonna just stand here and let Yuna go. And what Orin said about there being a way, I think it's true.
You'll think of something?
Yes, I'll go ask Yuna Leska. She's got to know something.
You really?
I don't know. This is my story.
Alright.
It'll go the way I want it. Or I'll end it
Just
here.
ignore-
Wait. You say it's your story, but it's my story too, you know? It would be so
Wrap it up, dude.
easy to let my fate just carry me away,
This is
following the
why I
same
wish they
path
had
my
a
whole life
skip
through.
cutscene option in this
know-
damn game.
I can't. What I do with no regrets.
Alright, thank you. Thank you, finally. I get it, emotions, but fuck, man. Like, wrap that shit up, B.